So let's get the party started. Yes, you guys keep saying hi in the chat. Hey, Shauna, I love it. We're gonna get started and get this party rolling because I know y'all want to get to the information y'all wanted to hear today. So let me clear up my screen real quick. Does Lori, you are pinned to the screen. Can you
I
see
know.
it?
I don't know why.
I thought it was a speaker view, which was
I don't know.
I'll pin mine though, just for now. But whenever it is time for you guys, I'm gonna totally pin your face. All right, so let's get started, you guys. As y'all are here today, communicate as much as you can. One thing that I always have to make sure you all know when we're hopping on Zoom together, you do you be as comfortable as you want to be. If you want to show your camera, phenomenal. If you do not whatsoever want to show your camera, by all means stay whatever you're comfortable. I know some of you guys are literally listening while you're at work, so you may not be able to conversate whatsoever. um that's okay, totally. Just be here as long as you can. I'm reading the messages. Is it still rotating for you, Laura, or is it just my face now? Or anybody else, feel free to
Might be
answer
a
that.
setting.
You what?
It might just be a setting, I'm thinking, because I just see the grid of all the faces because I chose to just have the viewers the videos on.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
that
not
might
sure.
be might be all settings as well too. But let's get it started. I want to share. It's staying on me now. Perfect. Okay, because I pinned my face. But I don't want you guys just to stare at my face all day. I'm going to share my screen. And that's okay. Stephanie, I see you saying you can't get your video to work. It's all good, you guys. We're here. We have a lot of stuff that we want to share with you today. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. So that y'all can see, y'all can hear, y'all can follow along with what it is that we are going to share with you all today. This is y'all signed up for this masterclass because you have some sort of interest in finding out a little bit more about the whole journey about fat loss, right? Like our whole purpose of today is Fit Mama Fat Loss Secrets is our masterclass today. We help women on a daily basis lose inches. We want to help you focus on inches today, not just losing weight. And we're going to talk about the difference in a second. But today's day one. Again, we are super excited to have you all here. Before we get started, I feel super called, and I know some of you guys are in alignment with this as well too. And if you're not, totally respect everyone's belief. But I would love to pray for us all today really quick before we get started. Just to help just make sure that we're all mentally in the right space and all the things. So if you can, close your eyes and bow with me. If not, please stay safe wherever you're at. And mute if you are not muted. There we go. So if you can, dear God, please wrap your arms around all these ladies that decided to join us today, either live or on replay. Please help them remember that they are worthy of this time that they are spending with us today, but they're also worthy of time for themselves on a daily basis every single day. God, please help them understand that you're in their corner, even when they're on a journey to just work on their body and losing weight. We're honoring you by doing so. So again, please wrap your arms around them today. Help them be present for themselves and their family every single day. In your name, amen. So,
Amen.
yeah, amen in the chat if you feel called. And again, let's get rolling. Let's get rolling. If you are brand new to any class, any anything that we've ever done as Fit Mama coaching, I would love for you to say new in the comments if that is you. Because I want to know who's new first off. And I want to also start with just really talking to you all today to help you understand like who really is this masterclass for? Challenge masterclass. I mean, we can call it whatever we want to, right? But the thing is we're all what we consider to be high performing women. Okay. When I say high performing women, that means you are someone that has a lot on your plate. Okay. We all have a lot on our plate, right? If you can raise your hand if you got your video on, or just put a lot in the chat if you even have the ability to conversate back and forth with us today. Because to me, a high performing woman is somebody that just has a lot on their plate. They're always on the go. They're taking care of family and in kids or not kids, because not everybody we work with or talk to are moms, but we have a lot on our plate. Let's just put it that way. But the other ladies that we really want to speak to today are those that are really sick and tired of where you're at now, and you're so beyond ready for change. And if that's you, I'd love to see you just drop ready in the challenge or ready in the chat, because we want to really speak to you today. And we also want to speak to those ladies that are no longer looking for a quick fix and fast results, because you understand the harm of those things. You understand that that's not really the route for you, because maybe you've done it over and over and over before. And if you have, you're human. I would say you're human, and you're among majority of the ladies in today's world, because they're so appealing, right? Like they're everywhere. And so if a quick fix, if something that you like, you want to put a little effort and get massive results, we're probably not going to be your coach, the people for you. And I just love to be open and transparent. We don't do quick fixes. We actually try to help you unlearn to get away from those things, because they harm you. And a lot of us have gotten to where we're at right now because of them. So no longer looking for a quick fix. If that's you, put me in the chat. Just again, I want to make sure that we're resonating with you. And then also, like I said already, it's this masterclass is not for those willing to put in very little work. And we really want to speak to you if you're in a place of like, I'm so sick and tired of restarting. Like, I just want to start and like get there and stay there, which is most of you, right? So, next thing I want to really highlight quickly, and then I'm going to show some examples of some beautiful ladies. Some of you are on the call today. Some examples of what's possible for you. But first, I want you ladies, I keep saying guys all the time. I don't know why. I want you all also to understand, like, what is it that you're going to learn out of the class? So if you're a note taker, highly recommend notes of some kind, right? Pen and paper, if you can, take some little bit of notes today. Some of this, if you're coaching with us, or if you did our challenge recently, our 5-day mindset shift challenge, you might hear a few things on repeat, but that's okay, because we need them. We need things on repeat to reprogram your brain. But again, in the class today, we're really gonna start off by highlighting the difference between fat loss and weight loss. Why fat loss will actually help you lead to bigger results. Okay, bigger results that actually last. We're also going to talk about where your mental health aligns with your fat loss, right? Because it's so incredibly important to focus on your mental health along with your fat loss journey, or the fat loss journey usually doesn't go all the way to the end. Okay. And we are also going to talk about, myself, Coach Nita, and Coach Lori are all going to in a team effort. We're going to talk about what we consider to be our top 3 secrets, which our programs are based around, to teach women to truly unlearn the negative programming that leaves you stuck, that truly leaves so many women stuck in that cycle of restart, while also helping you create that abundance in your family, your health, your career, your business. Because we all know, if we are healthier versions of ourselves, then who else benefits? Everybody in our entire life. Everything is going to benefit so much, as if you are a healthier, happier, more energetic version of you, right? If you agree, let's drop agree in the chat, just so I know that y'all are still with me here. I see a ready-ish in the comments. I'm just seeing y'all's. I love paying attention to y'all's replies too. So I already talked about this, but really quickly, just so y'all know, if you're on, I took a screenshot already, and I will again, because I see some more that did hop on. Y'all's names are automatically today. I'll go through and I'm going to give away a gift card just for simply showing up for yourself today, because I love to do giveaways, so it's just fun. And then tomorrow, if y'all are a client of ours already, you obviously are part of VIP Day. That's tomorrow. You can still sign up if you didn't upgrade to the VIP. Tomorrow, you're going to get the replays of everything. You're going to get exclusive Q&As. Okay, so if you're on today, be on the lookout later. I'm going to send over a place for you guys to actually submit questions, because we're going to do Q&A tomorrow. We're going to go over our macro cheat sheet, give you some tips and tricks on macros, how to simplify it. how to get started ASAP, whether you're coaching with us or on our own. And then we do have exclusive opportunity that we're going to go over tomorrow as well, with some discounts, some bonuses, and different fun things. So if you're not there tomorrow and want to be, we can drop the link or shoot me a message or drop "I want to go VIP" in the chat, and we'll shoot you over the link. But who's ready to see a little bit more of like what's possible for you? For some reason, I can't see faces now. There we go. I want to see some faces. All right, if you're ready to hear a little bit more, you guys are drop me again in the chat. I just want to make sure we are ready. That's okay. Better late than never. Whoever just hopped on, so glad that you're here. Awesome, Erica. Thank you. So what we're going to teach you guys, ladies, today doesn't just work. It's what we as coaches live by, but it's also what works for so many other women. And again, we really wanted to, I wanted to start by just giving you what's possible. I don't think Kelly is on today. She's probably working, but I want to show y'all a few quickly, and then we're going to get into some fun stuff. But I want to show you, do we have any other nurses in the house? If you're a nurse, drop nurse in the comments. I'd love to see who else is a nurse, because I want y'all to see a little bit of what's possible for you. This is Kelly. She worked alongside Coach, or she still actually is. She's wrapping up her 6-month program, working closely with Coach Lori. Coach Lori, do you want to share a little bit about her and just brag on her for a second?
Yeah, the biggest thing I can say for Kelly, and just that really, she came to me, she was tired. Her lack of sleep was just all over the place because she was a night nurse. She just lost control of herself. She had a lot going on, busy schedule, busy mom, all the things. And she came to me, and the one thing that I can really say to her, she was so coachable. And she just asked questions, and we chatted a lot. It was back and forth. And she, like, the only thing I can say really and brag on her is that she was so coachable in the moment, and she did exactly what we asked of her. And I got a feel for her schedule, so I made it help for her. It worked because she put the work in. Yes, I can be here, we can be your coaches, and we can tell you what to do, but if you're not going to be putting the work in, then that's why she saw the results, and she trusted the process. And she didn't get upset, if the scale went up a little bit, because ultimately that is the results that she had right there. The difference in her body, she's down 12 pounds. The difference in just the way that her fat loss, it wasn't such a huge weight loss, but it was more just the composition of her body, because she knew what she had to do. And she listened. And that's the biggest thing, is just being coachable. And just all over, I just love, her results and everything about her.
Yeah, I agree. And her transformation is phenomenal, y'all. And I really wanted to share a little bit more on her story. So thank you for sharing, Lori, because I know some of y'all have crazy busy schedules. I know Laura that's on here is another perfect example of like not a consistent schedule. It's I'm on a night shift one day and I'm a day person the next. Like it's really a lot of stress on your body, but she's a beautiful example of making it happen. Busy mom, all the things. I love sharing Bernice, you guys. Bernice is someone who works closely with Coach Anita. And I will tell you just, I'll let you share a little bit, Anita. I don't want to take a ton of time on these stories, but I think they're all so important that we have to at least a little bit. But Bernice is someone who worked with us, was it last year, and dropped 45 pounds, 35 inches, in 6 months. And then she's been on her own for a while, and now she's back.
She's back.
And anything you want to say specifically on her, Anita, to help everyone see?
Bernice is a beautiful woman, and she was just so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And she, I don't want to get the number wrong, but she has many children. I think it's 8 too. And I was just like, I have another one who has 8. So I was just wanting to get the number right. But so she's always, and she's also right now, since last year, she's also taken on the care of 2 parents in 2 separate residences. So she has got, like, you want to talk about high achieving women, like she is so busy, and she just recognized over the months away from having that accountability and having someone just trying to really simplify how to make those things work for her, because at the end of the day, she just didn't have any more left to give, right? So to have someone she's so coachable as well, and to be able to just go, okay, these are the things I need to do so I can get back to feeling good the way that I want to feel. And she just knows the value in that. She knows the value of taking care of herself so that she can take care of all the people, because she has got a really full plate. She also works 2 jobs. She's just a very, very busy woman who has just recognized so much value in putting herself, at least somewhat, moving closer to the forefront of care.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Bernice, and she's just this breath of fresh air. And y'all, I also want to share a little bit about on her. Like, she's also someone that just in the past didn't see her value, or maybe that she was even worth a financial investment. And she's now in a place of, like, she has literally jumped through so many hoops to make this investment to restart with everything that she's going on, because she recognized that she was important enough and she needed it. You know what I mean? So just a beautiful example in so many ways. And then one of my favorites too, I have to brag a little bit on Shauna here, because Shauna is just one of my favorite people in the world. I know she's on today, so major kudos to you, because her and I have been coaching. We are coming up on our 2-year anniversary, and I just love her to pieces. Not only has she transformed so much, she's also inspired so many of ladies. So I would love to know, like, is there anybody on the call today that has Hashimoto's, thyroid issues, maybe going through menopause or been through menopause, any of those things? Share it in the comments or chat if you're okay with it, of course. Know that you won't be judged. You're just going to see that you're not alone. It's what I always love for you guys to share out loud if you are, because Shauna is so open to share that was her. I mean, it still is technically. But in our first 12 weeks, she dropped the 20 pounds, 30 inches, after being told from her own doctor she's the perfect storm. And through macros and strength training and a lot of de-stressing and a lot of soul work and a lot of mindset work, she had such phenomenal results. And then recently we started seeing the scale wasn't necessarily going in the place that she wanted it. It was going up. But this is a beautiful thing, that why fat loss is so important, ladies. I wanted to share this picture because it's her most recent that she said, go for it and share. And so thank you for that, Shauna. Because the scale was creeping up, like over the past 5 months, it went up six pounds. But look at the beautiful transformation of what her body's doing. It's body composition. It's called fat loss. It's not, we're not focusing so heavy on like weight loss. Do we want to see the scale to go down? Sure. Who doesn't? Who doesn't, to be honest with you? But she's going on 2 years and still freaking crushing it. Is the most consistent person, just like Lori said about Kelly. Just like she said about Kelly, it was consistency. Consistency is really, and that was what Kelly's done. That's what Bernice has done. That's what Shauna here has done as well too. And then I know I had these two really quick. I want to make sure that we move on, and we actually, okay, 2 more. You guys hang with us, because these are so important, I think, for us to all see quickly. This is a super busy mama, Esther, that is also working super close with Coach Anita. This was her very first at the beginning. She came to us when her son was like an infant, her second son. And these are her results at the very beginning. Again, getting started, not really knowing what to do, how to do it, or really even having the time to do it. And then this is actually her most recent picture that I grabbed from her. Anything you want to say on her really quick, Anita?
She's just been so fun, and she's just developed such a passion for recognizing the value of coaching, of nutrition, of strength training, that she's actually embarked on her own journey of taking some courses to just get better educated, because she's just developed this passion through her journey herself. She's been phenomenal and super coachable. Always, communication between she and I, like, out of town for the weekend, I know about it. Doing this, I know about it. Has a migraine, has to shift things. This lady's learned how to pivot. She knows how to, make this lifestyle work for her. She's been such a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Christy, to answer your question, do these ladies look close to us as coaches? No, they're all over the place. Like, I live in Texas. Coach Anita lives in Canada. Lori's up in Pennsylvania, and these ladies are all over the place. We don't see them personally in person. It's all done online. We guide them all online. And then one more example real quick, and then I want you to meet the coaches, and then we're getting into our secrets. This is one of our amazing ladies that just started, again, working closely with Coach Lori here. These pictures blew me away. She's in her first 6 weeks, and if you struggle with belly fat, put belly fat in the comments. And again, we want you to see that anything and everything is possible for you. And with macros and strength training and all the other things that we're going to share with you a little bit more today, anything's possible. And as we can see, her biggest changes are right in the belly area. And she's, again, just like the other ladies that we've been talking about and bragging on, it's just consistency. It's consistency. They're working hard. They're showing up for themselves. They're not trying to be perfect. Okay. So I really want to shift on that really quick, because we're not really going to talk about this a whole lot, but something just kind of hit me in the heart to share with you guys. These ladies are consistent. They're not perfect. We're not asking them to be perfect. We're actually asking them to please don't strive to be perfect. So if you're a perfectionist and you're listening today, like, I cannot stress enough how incredibly important it is for you to allow yourself to be consistent, whatever that looks like for you. Not perfect. Okay. Let go of being perfect. I'm seeing y'all's chats. I love it. Shauna and Esther, both inspiration. Yes, they are. So what do these ladies have in common? We really already said it. They had a willingness to implement new strategies, but they also matched their season of life. Their season of life now, what their body needs now, as well as their minds. And that's what we love to coach you, teach you. And that's really what our top 3 secrets that we're going to talk about with you today, and share with you guys, where y'all really want to take some notes on that. But I want to ask you now, if you're watching, if they can do it, like, do you truly think you can? Drop it in the comments. Do you truly think you can do it? Because I do. I know Coach Anita does. Coach Lori does. We see women all the time that don't truly believe they can do it, make it happen, because they're coachable. They listen, they trust the process, and they push through ups and downs. Because I'm not here to tell you that this journey in fat loss is all about unicorns and rainbows, and it's a beautiful like, woo! It's a straight road all the way there, because it's not. It's up and down. It's a little bit of a roller coaster sometimes emotionally for women. And that's okay, so let's see. I can and I am. Caitlin's in the house. I love it. Yes, Salita said, I have lost almost 18 pounds, so yes, I can. Love it. Yes, Chrissy. Yes. I'm okay. I love it. I'm seeing women believe in themselves. Love it. So that's, again, we actually are coming up on our 3-year anniversary this month. Like, in a couple days was 3 years since I made an investment that brought Fit Mama coaching to life. So, which is really the method behind our madness of why we decided to offer this masterclass and give the free version as well too. So before we get into the secrets, I really want you guys to first meet the coaches. A lot of y'all know me. I'm going to share a little bit of my story as well too, a little shorter version, but I want y'all to meet a little bit of the coaches too, or first. So Coach Lori, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot.
So right there, I'm a mom of 4. I'm going to be 48 in May. I have just, I come from a past of a lot of restrictive eating. I don't know if you want me to go into all that, Angela, but, restriction was where I grew such a passion for, and I came from a place of, my body was just so torn down. I restricted, I had anorexia, and this was all before we had just gotten married. And I went through that whole cycle. It was such a bad cycle of ups and downs. It took over my mental health. And that's why I feel like I'm so passionate about mental health and really just working on your mindset in this journey. I won't get into everything, but it's just when in my early 20s, after we got married, I moved away with my husband in the military, in the Army, and we had been stationed in Georgia, and just all the things of my husband being hot. A lot of the restriction, because I wanted to control something, and I knew that I could control food. And I let it go too far. And, my lowest weight, which never proud to say, was like 99 pounds. I mean, guys, that's just the harm that I did on my body. I look back and I've learned so much from that, and I've learned so much of that. It's just, as talking to women now, it's so detrimental and it's so harmful to put that stress onto our bodies. And we need to learn how to enjoy the food, enjoy the food that God has given us, and the bodies that we have to take care of it. We only have one life to live. We have to take care of our health. And I do this all now because I have such a passion for it. I've learned so much about myself in the process, in the past like 2.5 years now, coaching with Angela. I've learned so much about myself, and I've learned to just adapt this and to really hone in on the fact that you can do this as well. And you have to believe in yourself, no matter what past you have. If you were in, bad relationships with food, or you have, anorexia or bulimia, or, just those types of bad relationships with food. I get on the phone sometimes with people and they say, I just want to have a better relationship with food. I totally get that. And that is such a passion of mine now. I want you to be able to enjoy it. And I don't want you to ever think that you have all these, sorry, my dog, forbidden foods or things, or restrict to carbohydrates, or, only eat this or eat that, and we need to learn how to fuel our body for the life that we have and give it the health that we all desire and need for our children and for our family. And that is why I'm here today, because I have such a passion for all these ladies in here to help you understand that it is possible and you can definitely change.
Yeah, I love that so much. And you're such a beautiful example. And I think the more and more you share it, there's more ladies out there that are there where you once were, and are a little scared to maybe admit it, I think. But it's so really important. Like, you're not alone, ever alone. Something we're very passionate about making sure that and it is an emotional journey to lose weight. It is an emotional journey to lose fat. It's an emotional journey to find you again if you feel like you have lost yourself. We've all been there. And so I love it. Thank you for sharing. Coach Anita, you want to share?
You bet. Yep, you bet. So I'm Coach Anita. I have been with Angela since Fit Mama Coaching. It's been what? It was summer.
It was
so
July.
This summer will be 2 years. And such a huge privilege to just do this journey together. So I guess I'm the old lady of the bunch. I'm 49 years young, and I say that because one of my big passions is busting through those myths that you're too old and it's too late. I refuse to give into that. And so I love busting through those myths. I love inspiring and empowering women, especially women who are, in their 40s and getting older, and saying, you can do this. It's not too old, or you're not too old. So I love changing mindset around aging. I've been married for 27 years. I have 3 children, 2 of which are married. I've got them back there. You can see my family. But yeah, that's, I started out after, a lot of people think that I've always been into fitness, always been active and that sort of thing. And when I had my 3 babies, I was not. It took me till mid to late 30s before I even developed the desire. And so I started out as a runner, and, when that's what your friends are doing, they're signing up for marathons and doing things, you just want to be a part of something. And so I did that to be a part of something, to feel community. I loved it. And I'll talk a little bit more later on, the differences between a lot of cardio versus strength training. But that was where my journey started. It wasn't until my late 30s. So again, love busting through the myths, love to empower you, love coaching alongside these 2 lovely ladies, and super happy to be here.
And I muted myself. And we're so honored to have you. Okay, I would love for anybody that's interested or comfortable, drop your age in the chat if you will, because I'm seeing some already do that, and I love to see it because I know I'm 41. Coach Anita, she says that she's the old lady in the room. She's 49, and I
Did I
see
forget to say that?
you did, Coach, and Coach Lori's 47, and
Almost.
yep, almost 48. We have a 55 in the house. We have Salita, who's rocking it. If you didn't hear it earlier, she's down 18 pounds, following exactly what we taught her, and she's 60. We have 42 in the house. We have 32. We have 63. We have 61, 47, 55. I just love this so much.
It's just a number.
Yeah.
It's just a number, and it truly is. I love that you said that because, ladies, it is just a number. It's not a death sentence. It doesn't mean, I know Shauna has always given me permission to share as well too. We've got some big goals coming up for her. She'll be 54, and you guys, she's one of the ones that we showed the amazing transformation with thyroid issues, with menopause, with Hashimoto's and all the things, and we're making it happen. I love it. So we've got some in the 60s. Woo! All right, so let's keep going. Oh, we still have more people showing up. So let's keep rocking it. Let's get into myself. Hello, I was going to share a little bit about myself as well too. I forgot. I'll go brief. Some of you guys know me, some of you guys don't. Just like anybody else, like I said, I'm 41. 3 years ago this month, literally within a few days, I was at my worst place trying to find my way out. Like, I wasn't healthy. I was what I call skinny fat. And I don't even like the word fat, but at the same time, like, it puts it into perspective. If you physically saw me, you would be like, oh, she lost all of her baby weight and she's healthy again. But on the inside, I wasn't healthy. So looks don't paint the full picture either. I was soft. I lost a lot of muscle, but I stopped taking care of myself. I was a trainer getting up at 3:45 in the morning to coach boot camps, which I love. It was just, and then I had two kids. At that point, I had my daughter was like 4. Actually, she was about 4. My son was about 18 months old. I'll never forget it. It's part of my story. But I was skipping workouts. Okay, how many of you guys skip workouts? Put skip in the comments. How many of you guys skip meals? Put meals in the comments, or put it together, however you want to do it. But I was skipping meals. I was skipping workouts. I was skipping anything at all that had to do with taking care of me, mom, wife, trainer, coach. I wasn't doing anything that I was preaching to everybody else to do. I would get up, I'd go coach people, I'd come home, and I'd go right to my computer and try to work. I had multiple online businesses. Network marketing is my original, online business. It's kind of where a lot of things started for me, but it was everything revolved around taking care of the kids, taking care of my businesses, taking care of my husband, taking care of the house. But there was nothing left for me because I wasn't making myself really a priority. I was just faking it. I was pretending like I had it all together, and nobody really knew, not even my husband, how bad I was just not in a place. And so I just wasn't healthy or happy, to be honest with you. I was very irritable, exhausted, tired. I was living on what I call coffee and fumes, because I would just, honestly, sometimes I would just eat whatever's on the kids' plate, whatever they left. How many of you guys have ever done that as a mom? Like whatever goldfish or whatever was left on the plate, I'd clean the plate and call it a day and say that I ate. And that's not a good way to be, but it's where so many women are right now today. But fast forward, we were even starting to lose things financially, not lose things financially, but we were getting really close. Like, we had literally paid mortgage on a credit card 2 months in a row, because everything started tanking. I couldn't keep up with life. I couldn't keep up with business. I couldn't keep up with anything. So everything started to slowly fall apart. And which, obviously was affecting every aspect of my life, my family. And then the day that forever changed my life is some of you guys have already heard this part of my story, but my son was 19 months old, and he climbed, it was 2:00 in the afternoon. I'll never forget it, because he climbed on the counter when mommy was making coffee at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, because I was tired living on caffeine. And he climbed and he got my cup and he poured it down his chest. And he obviously got burnt. Our neighbors, I ended up somehow calling my husband. I don't remember, but he remembers, like, it yesterday. And, you know, 2nd-degree burns later, months later, I beat myself up with mom guilt forever. Didn't talk about it, didn't share it out loud. To even share it out loud was like, oh God, no, because I felt so guilty. And then now I look back and I'm like, that was the day God said, Angela, you got to get it together. You have a passion and a purpose, but nothing can be made if you don't take care of yourself. So if that is you right now, like we have to learn, like we have to come first. And we're going to talk about some things on how you can get started today if you're in that place. So I see a lot of you guys saying skip meals. Meals, I feel like is so what more women skip than anything else, it seems like. So let's move on. Let's move on. You guys, y'all heard the stories, you heard your coaches. Who's ready for change? Who's ready to change their mindset so that they can change their health? Put ready again in the comments. I'm someone that always loves to have you talk back to me in the comments. So definitely put ready. And I say comments because I'm so used to live videos, but yeah, I meant in the chat. You guys know what I mean. Salitas, ready to continue changing and pivoting. Yeah. Salita, I see the mindset shifts in you just by dropping you're pivoting. I love it. I love it. I'm ready. Perfect. I see so many that are ready. Well, let's get into a little bit more of the content today that we really wanted to teach you. Let's get into the teaching part of today. The teaching part is that we really want to talk to you today about what is the truth, because we're real. We love to teach what is real. And reality is that you can focus on fat loss and lose the pounds that you're trying to lose so hard, okay? Where so many people get it wrong is they just focus on weight loss. All they focus is on the scale wanting to move. I want to drop the weight. I want to get rid of the weight, right? But here's the truth behind that. And what we love to help you kind of unlearn, so to speak, is that you can focus solely on weight loss. Let me drop the number on the scale. That's all I, focus on. That's all I measure. That's all I'm working for, right? But the truth and reality is you can lose weight on the scale while you're also gaining fat and losing muscle with the wrong approach. Okay. And so I want to say that again, because I know when you first read it, it's like, that what? How many of you guys are like, well, this is not new to me, so to speak. Most of us have heard this before, but I can't stress it enough. If you want to lose pounds, focus on fat loss, because the pounds are going to come. It's where I'm trying to get us to all to today, because you can focus on weight, but if you're dropping weight really too fast with all these fad diets and quick fixes, guess what's going to happen? You can drop weight fast, but you're gaining fat and losing muscle in the process, which is why your weight comes back. How many of you have ever lost weight and gained it back? Put me in the comments. I think most, not everybody will say yes, but most are, right? But that's what we want to teach you not to do. So do you want to focus on weight loss now or fat loss after hearing that? Drop it in the comments. You want to work on weight loss or fat loss? Thank you for being open and sharing that, Salita. She said me so many times. Me. Fat loss. Perfect. Fat loss is where it's at, ladies. If you want to keep it off, here's the difference. I already shared it. Actually, I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but a little bit more kind of a definition, so to speak, so we all understand. Like Anita and Lori know I'm always about the method behind the madness. We always want to teach you the method behind the madness, because a good coach will teach you a little bit along the way, not just give you something to follow. Therefore, you don't have a clue why you're following it. And therefore, whenever your coaching program ends, you have no idea what to do now because you don't have the coach telling you what to do. We like to teach you a little bit of the method behind the madness so that it sticks. I understand a little bit of why without, being bombarded with way too much information. But weight loss is truly refers to, these are actual definitions if you look them up. Weight loss refers to a decrease in your overall body weight, and that can be from muscle, can be from water weight, and it can be from fat loss. Okay, fat loss refers to weight loss from fat. Again, do you want to lose fat or do we want to lose weight, right? We want to lose fat, which will drop on the scale eventually. Everybody depends on how fast. It's definitely just a more specific approach and a healthful, healthier approach, healthful goal than just simply losing weight. Okay. Um, Also, something that I really want to hone in on is weight loss. I already talked about this, but weight loss includes water and muscle loss, which can also be a little detrimental to our health, right? Like we can drop weight fast. It's not healthy at all. Fat loss can help you decrease your risk associated. It's not just about how we look, ladies. We're going to go into a little bit more of that in some of our secrets, but fat loss can help you decrease your risk associated with chronic diseases, inflammation, reduce muscle mass loss, and help you maintain. The very last piece is what everybody wants to do, right? We want to get it off, but we want to keep it off, right? Like keep it off in the chat. We all want to keep it off. If you want to keep it off, it's got to be more focused on fat loss, not just the pounds. Okay. I already said all this, but fat loss can lead you to weight loss if you're looking to keep it off. So again, if you were sick and tired of losing the same pounds over and over, it's time to shift your mind, shift your focus so that we can lose that fat. I see the chat blowing up. Yes, keep it off, keep it off, keep it off. Yeah, so Lita, absolutely. And if you have any sort of autoimmune issues and stuff like that, it's all about decreasing inflammation. Absolutely 100%, because your food is truly your medicine. And when you're focusing it on the right approach, you can improve your life, not just your waist size. You can improve your entire life, not just how we look on the outside. And if you have autoimmune issues of any kind that's where inflammation is high, it's a whole nother training we can do on a different day, right? I could totally go on a tangent there, but I won't. But again, in order to really shift, I love it. I still see people hopping on. In order to shift your focus, it all starts with shifting your mind so that you trust this new approach. If this is new, if losing fat and say macros per se is a new approach, put new approach in the chat. I'd love to see who's never done it before. I'd love to see new approach in the chat if it's new to you. I see a ton of people saying, keep it off, keep it off, keep it off. Yes, yes, yes. Keep it off. So the mental shifts are what we as coaches also focus on. We coach with macros. We want to teach you how to eat correctly, more balanced life, find food freedom so that you can enjoy pizza nights with your family, so that you don't have to cook 2 separate meals every single night just to lose a pound. Nobody should ever have to do that, ever. These mental shifts that we're about to go through, there's 3 of them. They're the 3 core secrets that we use and teach and base everything that we do on, so that those that do actually coach with us have long-term fat loss, overall health, and mental health all at the same time. How many of you are focused on, like, I know that my mental health is struggling and I need help in the mental health area? Put mental health in the chat if you're able to type out. Mental health is so incredibly important, you guys, and I can't stress it enough. Like, more in today's world than ever before, I think, in all of our lives. But here in a second, Lori's going to help me share some things to help you out with your food. But secret number 1 is this. Write it down if you can, if you're taking notes. But viewing your food only for your outward appearance is going to be what's going to keep you stuck. Can't stress it enough. Viewing your food only for your outward appearance will keep you stuck. Thinking carbs are bad. Thinking, oh, like, I can't eat that, it's going to make me fat. I can't eat that, it's going to make my scale go up. I can't. Just the word can't alone is something that we love to help you get out of your vocabulary. But viewing your food only for your outward appearance will truly keep you stuck. What we love to coach women, and if you're coaching with us, you know this, because I think we've drilled it in y'all's minds just a little bit. Or if you did our 5-day challenge with us, we went into way more depth on this. But your food is what we like to help teach you to understand. Like, your food is your instructions on how you're going to feel and function every single day. If you can, type instructions in the chat, just so I know that this one is setting in, because if we only focus on that's going to make me fat, that's going to make me fat, that's going to make me whatever word you want to say, then again, it's going to keep us stuck. But if we shift our mind into thinking, my food is how I'm going to feel this day. So therefore, if I'm going to skip my food, not take the time to, prep or just take a few seconds before you run out the door to put a smoothie together, or grab some egg bites that you actually made the night before, or whatever the scenario is, we're giving our body instructions to feel bad that day, to feel exhausted, to feel tired, to be irritable, right? To not have energy, to have a lot of brain fog. So when you look at your food more of like, this is my instructions on how I'm going to feel that day. So if I want to feel good, I want to be energized, I want to be able to focus at work, I want to do all the things that I desire to do, then I better eat a good quality breakfast with some carbs, because my carbs alone was going to fuel my brain, right? So instructions, something that I want to help you understand and live by, whether you end up coaching with us or you're on your own. This is one of the big ones for me that I'm super passionate at helping you understand. Your food is about your energy. It's about your mental focus. It's your fuel to burn fat, ladies. I cannot stress it enough. And Coach Anita and Coach Lori, we're all on the same page here. But if you're consistently under eating, you're not going to lose fat. If you're consistently starving yourself, you're not going to lose fat. You may see a small drop on your scale, but you're losing muscle or you're losing water weight. You're not losing fat. So it's not going to stay off. Eating enough is one of the biggest struggles, I think, that a lot of our women that we coach anyway, when we start, or a lot of women in today's world generally. If you feel like you undereat, drop undereat in the chat. And if you don't know that, obviously most women don't really know. If you don't track, it's hard to understand if you do or not. But carbs are your body's preferred source of fuel. How many of y'all have ever been programmed in your mind to think, oh, carbs are bad, I got to cut out my carbs. I gotta cut out carbs. I want to lose some weight, man. Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing y'all's comments. Undereat. I was a chronic undereater. Yeah, Salita. And look at you now, 18 pounds down. Undereater. Yeah. Exactly. Undereat, then I wonder why I hit a brick wall. Absolutely. Yeah, I see most of y'all feel like y'all probably undereat. You're not alone. It's the way bigger of an issue than it is overeating. But carbs are not bad for you. Your brain needs 120 grams of carbs a day for you just to mentally be able to function at top levels. Okay, so this next slide, and then Lori, I'm gonna let you take over here on this one. We do want to chat a little bit about how many of y'all have ever done intermittent fasting? Trying to get this little thing out of my way. And I'm not here to knock intermittent fasting, okay? Because there's some amazing coaches that I know that they coach intermittent fasting. Most women gravitate to it though because it's easy. They end up restricting calories. They don't eat breakfast, so then they don't have to eat a morning snack. Sometimes they don't even eat lunch. But it creates bad habits. And Lori, I'm gonna let you take over there on what you wanted to share about restriction and under eating and all the things. Can you? Oop, you're muted. Hold on.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, awesome. I think just to piggyback off of this of intermittent fasting, I think it really teaches you to have that bad relationship with food. And I see that a lot. You know, a lot of women will come to us, or if I have like, calls with ladies and just getting to know their goals and things like that, that's what they'll tell me. And they, like I said before, it's just they want to have a better relationship with food. And I think that, if you're doing IF, that can stem from that because you're skipping meals all the way up until like 12 or 1 o'clock. And then you'll like eat as much as you can and get all those calories in there till a certain time. And then you're like, boom, I'm done. And it just doesn't give you that, I guess, that food freedom. It just teaches your body that it's just so off and it can be a tool. So anyway, I won't go into too much for that, but under eating can definitely be, it's very common, as like Angela said, it's very common and you probably don't even know that you're doing it until you start to go track your food and see what exactly you are eating. And so, the calories that from food that you are eating, that is your body's energy. Like Angela had said, that is your body's energy source. You will have, low blood sugar, you'll feel dizzy, you'll feel short supply of glucose, like to your brain. And that will make you feel like, hello, like mom brain, foggy, all the things like that. So you want to make sure that you're getting, then that's why the macros are so important because you're getting a good source of carbohydrates, the fats and the proteins, heavily, focusing on protein because that's where the protein comes in to build the muscle and all the things. But really the the effects of the restrictive eating and things like that, you're going to have a lot of nutrient deficiencies in your body. It's going to, it can cause dehydration in your body. And like I said, you'll just feel tired. The physical health of under eating can do so much more damage. And like I had said in my story before, I didn't know what I was doing to my body. And I think I messed up my thyroid, when I was going through that whole cycle of what I was doing before. I was, we were trying to get pregnant at the time. My body was not responding. And I ended up, having just very much a lot of difficulty with getting pregnant. So the detrimental things on your body, now that was me in my 20s, before we had children. But just knowing that the effects that it can do, you have to know how much food to eat. And that's why macros is such important, way that we teach our ladies, and also just it's like another thing I wanted to say is the cycle of doom. It's like ups and downs. Like one day you'll undereat, another day you'll totally overeat, and so there's no like, it's up and down, up and down. And then you're always like, oh, this is forbidden foods. Like now I've gotten to the point where nothing is forbidden for me. I will treat myself when I need to or when I want to. I know that I can have those sweet treats or things that I can fit into my day to make it work and to still see the results that I so desire and feel good. And I don't feel guilty about it anymore. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that when you're under eating and then all of a sudden you overeat, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you feel guilt for that. And then you beat yourself up for it. And then you don't, it plays so much of a mental health, issue with like feeling ups and downs and feeling like you're forbidden. And then one day you're feeling like you're just, you don't feel good about it. And like I said before, having that good relationship with food is so important, because when you let food control your whole aspect of your life, then it can control everything about you, like your mental health and the relationship that you have with your family, your kids. And it plays so much of that part of that mental health. And that's really having that relationship and having a good relationship with food, and understanding that, like Angela had said, that this is the instructions for our body, and this is what we need to help you understand, and to not feel guilt, and not to have the low self-esteem, and when you overeat, things like that, like you don't want to feel guilty about it. So it just, that's the restrictive eating. And I think society has really just told us these days that, 1,200 calories is good. It's good. 1,200 calories is good. But no, you will be surprised if you were to have us, do the macros things for you and do coaching with us. Like, you would be surprised at the amount of food that you're able to eat. And it's amazing. And people are like, wow, I get to eat that much. I'm like, yes. And you will change, and you will see so many awesome, results from this. So definitely, under eating is bad. And we need to learn that the food is never forbidden, and just really, it's our instructions, and we need it.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that you hit on all that. And the thing that you said that really stood out to me too is, ladies, like, I know so many women, because I talk to you on a daily basis, or so many get stuck in that cycle. What you said, like, you may be under one day and then you overeat or overindulge. Well, when you undereat, your cravings go through the roof. Your discipline to stay on track goes through the roof. You get to the point where you are literally binge eating because you're so freaking hungry that you can't control your actions. And then you get stuck in this cycle. I know so many women have shared with me that they get stuck in this cycle. Like, they do good, and then I did bad. Now I'm mad at myself. Now I beat myself up. Now I feel horrible. Now my emotions are through the roof. And then now my emotions are going to cause me to eat more. And then they stay stuck in this ugly cycle. So they're either stuck and they're not losing any weight, or they're gaining. And that's the power of macros as well too, which on VIP training tomorrow, if you're a part of that, we are going to talk a little bit more about on macros. But the one thing I will say heavy on macros is why it's working so well if you're consistent, not only because it's going to help you find the balance between carbs, protein, and fat, they all play a role in your journey, not just to change your body, but to change all of your habits as well too, to cut out the cravings, to have, when your body has balance, everything else falls in alignment. And that's in getting rid of the restrictions, giving yourself permission to have pizza night or wine if you want to, or whatever your vice is. Like, you should never have to cut those things out for the rest of your life. You enjoy them, you can have moderation, as long as you don't, go over the top crazy. But with macros, you can fit it in. Macros, you can fit it in. And then this little last piece, and then we'll go on to the next secret that I wanted to share, because most women don't really realize also that the relationship that you have around food overlaps on your family. And I really like to hit this. This one isn't always easy for us to probably stomach and understand. Like, if I'm constantly dieting, if I'm constantly have this fear of carbs or fear of food or fear of gaining weight or talking negative about myself and my weight and doing all these things out loud, guess who picks up on that? Right? Like, our sweet kids, and I say I'm at the stage of life where my son just turned 5 and 8. Some of you guys don't have kids, but you may have nieces, nephews, people around you. Some of y'all's kids are grown and out of the house, but we can't reverse time. We can't go backwards. We can't change anything. But what we can do is we can make a commitment and a choice today. Like, I want to change the way I view food. I want to make it instructions now, and the weight will come off if I shift my mind into thinking about it correctly. Why? I have an 8-year-old daughter that is so incredibly in that stage of, like, she does what mommy does. She doesn't do what I say most of the time. So you can relate to that. But she will do what I say. And if I catch her doing something, I'm thinking to myself, like, where'd she learn that from? Oh gosh, she learned that from me. Okay, mommy needs to get off her phone more. Mommy needs to stop doing this and that, because she's picking up on everything. So, something that really that usually for me, it hits home. We don't realize, if we don't change how we look at food, one, we're never going to get the weight off and keep it off, right? Because we're not losing fat. But what we do and what we say, and not taking care of ourselves and not giving our body the right instructions to feel good every single day, it overlaps on every single person around you. So do we want to be a happy, healthy, energetic version of ourselves? Do we want to have that better relationship with food because we want to teach our children to do the same thing? Because we were all programmed. We were all programmed to be the versions of us from our way we were raised as well too. Not negative whatsoever. Nobody intends to necessarily do it. But if we remember, like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this in front of my kid, I need to stop. Sometimes that is like that aha moment that some of us need to have. So we realize, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta start taking care of myself. That was me when my son got burnt. I gotta stop. I gotta stop skipping and thinking work and all these other little things are more important than taking care of mama. So woo, I'm excited. We're about to move on to the next piece and hear from also Coach Anita. I know, I see, I'll read y'all's chats in a second. I would love to know, like, what is the one thing that maybe stood out to you in the piece of nutrition right now, the secret around nutrition, the mindset shift around nutrition? If something comes to your mind, drop it in the chat, and then we'll keep moving forward. But I'd love to hear, like, is there something that stood out to you? Maybe it's just the fact that it's instructions, or maybe it's the fact that, like, holy crap, what I'm doing is overlapping on my kids. So many different things can populate after that. So let's go on to secret number 2. We got number 2 and then number 3, and then we'll wrap it up today. Number 2 is all about fitness. Okay. We love to help you program your mind to think differently about fitness as well too. Fitness to me is 20% about what we look like, ladies, and 80% for your mental health and your energy. And when we start to view our fitness, our workouts, our walks in a different light, just like we do our food, well, it's all of a sudden going to get a little easier and a little bit easier and a little bit easier to actually be consistent with your movement for your body. Something that we see every single day as coaches, 70% of women never start a fitness routine because they think they need hours in the gym or it's not even worth it. Like, I need a full hour to get my workout in. Otherwise, I'm not even gonna do anything because it's not even worth it. Right. Like, how many of you guys have ever thought that? Put me in the comments. I know I used to think this. I used to think this a lot, especially when my kids were younger. I love to work out at home most of the time. Depends. But when they were younger, I would always like, man, if I can't even squeeze in 15 minutes, what's the point? They're about to wake up. It's almost time to get them ready for school or whatever. And I would never like, what's the point? I'm not going to go do 10 minutes. It's not worth it. How many of us have ever thought that? It is wrong, as you guys can see here. Something is always better than nothing. And we have to understand that. All we need, if you are in a place right now, you're like, man, I don't know where I'm going to fit it in. I have no idea how to get started. I'm not doing currently anything at all right now. What we always teach and encourage you is all you need is 10 minutes to get started. You don't need hours in the gym. Actually, you don't need that ever. To be honest, you don't need hours in the gym. In this season of life where we are in a place of hormones might be changing, our body might be changing. Some of you guys shared in the chat, menopause is something you're going through right now, or maybe you have in the past. But if you are someone that keeps kind of sticking to that, like, I don't have time. I don't have time for myself. We want you to commit to 10 minutes a day. Everybody has 10 minutes a day that we can make time to move our body. I 100% believe that everybody has at least 10 minutes. And if you continue to keep saying, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, I want you purposely, you especially, if that is resonating with you, 10 minutes a day, I guarantee we can find 10 minutes a day instead of scrolling on social media, because we're all human. We live in a world of social media. I guarantee I can find 10 minutes to get off social media and go for a walk, or 10 minutes to do something. Okay. And there's other ways that you can do it. Okay. But we really want to shift your mind into thinking like, okay, if I'm not doing anything right now, then 10 minutes 3 times a week is 30 minutes a week. And it's going to be 100% better than nothing at all. Okay. So drop 10 minutes in the comments if you're still with me here. Because it's so incredibly important for us to understand we are worth a minimum of 10 minutes a day. We've got to really understand that we are worth at least 10 minutes. Here's where you're going to hear from Coach Anita. Most women also just stick to cardio to lose weight, thinking that's what they need. We don't need cardio as much as we need weights. And with that said, I'm going to turn that over to you, Coach Anita, so you can kind of elaborate on that.
Well, it is my most favorite thing to talk about in the whole wide world. So other than maybe my kids, but yeah. So yeah, let's talk cardio versus strength training. I think there's just so many misconceptions around it. And, when you were saying how fitness is, and I'm just reading this, fitness is 80% for your mental health and energy. Well, I thought it was super awesome that before we hopped on this Zoom, what were we coaches all doing? We were all getting our workout in. We were all lifting something heavy because it boosts the mental health and gets you excited and makes you show up better. And because I wanted to show up as my best self, I had to go and lift some heavy stuff before I came over here onto the Zoom. And so for me, and then I was chatting with the coaches before we came on, and it was like, yeah, this is what we do. It's a lifestyle. It is life changing, and you're not too old and it's not too late. So when we talk about muscle, muscle is the master of your metabolism. And so if I had a nickel for every time someone said, oh, just you wait till you're 50, just you wait, the age excuse, I have heard it more times than I can count. And really believing the people that are speaking this to me are really believing that their metabolism has dropped because of their age. And that's just really is not true. So muscle is the master of your metabolism. If you want to increase your metabolism, you need to increase your muscle. If all we're doing is cardio, and by cardio, I'm meaning long, steady state, drawn out, going for runs all the time, too much of that is only going to siphon off all of the muscle, or some of the muscle that is on your frame. And so it only makes fat loss more difficult. Your body needs to do more and more cardio over time to get any kind of results as far as weight loss goes, because the body adapts. Our bodies love things to be comfortable. Our bodies love homeostasis. And so, for example, and I'll just bring a little bit of my story into this because, like I said, I love seeing somebody loves weight training. This is great. And I'm just going to change my view here a little bit because it's a little bit distracting. Anyway, sorry, guys. Okay. So I started my journey, like I had shared earlier, with running in my late 30s. And so I was about 4 to 6 sizes bigger than I am now. So when I was in my late 30s, my youngest daughter was 3. I decided to, start training, and I couldn't run more than a block. So I would run and I would walk and I would run and I would walk until I built up to a place where I did do 5 half marathons. And the reason I say 4 to 6 sizes bigger is because I actually don't know what I weighed. I was not someone who stepped on the scale a lot. I didn't like the scale. It didn't make me feel good. And because you had to do that at the doctor every month when you went for your checkups with your babies. And so I sort of stayed off of that. But I know that my clothes got too big. But when I looked at myself in the mirror, even though I was a much smaller version of myself. So I did lose a lot of weight. I don't know how much weight I lost, but I know that my clothes didn't fit me anymore. And I just had no muscle. And so I was just like Angela referred to earlier, I was skinny fat. And that's like, I look back at pictures and I just went, oh, wow, those sticks, those were arms. And I had stick arms. So this is where, and it wasn't so much even seeing that drove me into lifting weights, because I really didn't know. I didn't know better. I didn't understand what was happening. I was not educated. At that time, I was working as a dental assistant. So I wasn't into the fitness world at the time. I just kind of joined what everyone else was doing. And that was, signing up for marathons and running. So I got into weight training when I was sidelined by an injury, and just thought, I got to do something, and blew up both my Achilles tendons at mile 6, and just decided once I healed up that I was gonna start doing some weight training. So, through that, I became very passionate about healthy eating and wellness, and was buying all the magazines. So I was very self-taught in the beginning, but then really, pursued personal training and got my holistic certification in nutrition and those things. Just a little bit more about what kind of, it all comes full circle. Our experiences, like with Lori, our experiences shape us, and they just really define what we become passionate about. So, the last, I think 10 years, I've been lifting and just recognizing the value, and how that has just been an incredible stepping stone to aging well, to regaining, hormone health. I know that's a huge topic right now, all over the internet, is hormone health. And I will share with you, sorry, my eyes watering. I think that it's just never too late to start. I believe, when I was in with all of the cardio that I was doing, I'll just share that I did lose my cycle. I went about 4 years without a period. And so, fast forward, that was that and my Achilles blowouts were two of the that was the catalyst in why I stopped running, why I stopped the cardio. Because when the doctor tells you that you are in menopause at 38, and you say, no, I don't think you're right. And I took my health into my own hands. And so happy to report, 49 years old, and still everything is on track, so to speak. And I couldn't feel better. I feel better than I did in my 30s. And I know that strength training and following, not just going and, doing some sort of random exercising, but like actually strength training and focusing on lifting heavy weights. I love to tease ladies who are I'm like, ladies, you got to lift something heavier than your purse. You have to, we want to be those women that are carrying all our grocery bags in one trip, right? And so if you're carrying your 20-pound toddler on your waist, or you're lifting them up, there's no reason you can't be bicep curling something heavier than that to challenge your muscles. And I think even just as a coach, I become very passionate with teaching the ladies that I coach how to lift and how to really challenge your body so that you can create the change that you are so desiring, and then fueling your body pre and post weight training to really achieve what you're wanting. And just, it's so much more than weight loss. And really, once you become passionate and love to incorporate strength training into your life, the scale becomes so much less important, because you're seeing your strength gains, you're seeing your body composition change. Another one of the little myths that I like to bust is people are like, well, I just want to tone up. And when people say they want to tone up, the first thing I say is you can't tone fat. Okay, fat is fat and muscle is muscle. So in order to tone your body, you actually have to have muscle on your frame first. And so that's where strength training comes in. And I just find that there's so much value for all ages to lift well, to become educated on how to lift well. And then just, it will help to increase your metabolism. It'll help to reshape, give you that body composition changes that you're looking for, that weight loss will never, ever give you, if that's what you're chasing. And so that's where we say less cardio, more weights. And that's not to say no movement. It's not to say no cardio. It's to say, go for those walks every day, reduce the cortisol, that non-exercise activity thermogenesis is what I had written down, because just that's going to do more for your metabolism. Going for those walks, re-energizing your brain, just taking it down a notch. There's more value in that than stressing your body with high intensity kind of work all the time. So I don't want to say cardio is bad, because that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying to age well and to move forward well. I think that we as women, all of us whom are getting older by the day, there's just so much value in that, in lifting heavy things and putting them back down again.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that so much. And I was there's your muscles are built when you rest is something I heard someone say the other day, and it's so incredibly true, ladies. Like, there's why, like she said, cardio is good for our heart. There's a lot of positive things for going for a walk. We don't need the high intense crazy cardio. We don't need what I always call balls to the wall in the gym. Like, that's how I used to train. I used to go hardcore crazy. I mean, because I enjoyed it, and when I was in my 20s and early 30s, my body responded well. In the 40s, just my body all of us, we in a season of life where we're changing, our bodies are changing, and stress is typically high. Most people are under eating. You will get so much better results with balanced eating enough, fueling your body correctly, and actually doing less. Strength training is where it's at. And there's so much, I love that the word, I don't know how, I needed to go back and quote you. I love quoting you. Some of the things you say are so golden nuggets, but it's like to age beautifully, to move forward. It's not about what we look like as much as now as it's about how we feel, how we function, how we show up, how we can stay mobile, how we can keep up with, all the people and the things in our life that we have to keep up with. So strength training, ladies, let's lift our weights. So lift heavier than your purse. I love that. It's so true, ladies. The weights don't bulk us. You will, if you only had 3 days a week to work out, 30-ish, if you can get, I'm talking to someone that's already working out. We're big fans of, like, if you're not doing anything at all, start with 10 minutes a day. If that's 10-minute walk, start with 10 minutes of walking, maybe. Or if it's strength training, then we work with what time you have available. You don't need to fit in, 20 exercises in 10 to 15 minutes, like 5, at most, anywhere from, if all you have is 10 minutes, I saw you hold up your one. Yes, Anita, like if all you have is 10 minutes, then get as heavy as you can and do one exercise. Maybe that's just squats for the day.
And one other thing that I love to say is, with ladies fitting in strength training into their lifestyle, more isn't better. Like, don't go into this with a mindset thinking I have to, whatever you saw on some Instagram, I have to do these exercises and I need to do 5 days a week. It's like, more isn't always better. What you're doing in that moment, better is better. More is not better, better is better. So many people think like that balls to the walls, attitude. And I know that with the one client I coached, she was doing that. And as soon as she took it down a notch, and I said, go for a walk, take time to smell the flowers, kind of go for a walk. And it was like her body responded so favorably, because more is not always better. Do it better, and it is better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. More is better when it comes to food for a lot of us if we're under eating. I think, like, we love to train you to do the opposite of what most women are doing right now. We're trying to train too much and we're trying to under eat because that's how we've been programmed for so long. And so all of these mindset shifts and how we love to coach you so that you can actually lose fat and tone up. Like she said, if your goal is to tone up, you want to get rid of belly fat. It's not about doing 1,000 crunches a day by any means at all. It's about making sure that we're eating enough, especially protein, or again, things we're going to talk about on tomorrow's class if you're doing the VIP, and that strength training, but not overtraining and eating enough. So after this, I'm gonna be sending out a form for you guys. So if y'all have lots of questions, we'll try to answer some if you have some today, but I know this is already kind of going a little longer. We want to make sure that we get your questions. So definitely, I'll make sure that I'll send that out so that you can submit questions too. And then we're going to gather some if you're dropping them in the chat. If we don't get to them, I promise. So before we move on to the last secret of the day, like, how do you feel when you work out or simply go for a walk? I'd love to always ask you how you feel. So it's incredibly important for you to be aware of how you feel when you do it and when you skip it. So tell us in the chat, how do you feel when you actually get your workout in or go for a walk? And workout can be anything, you guys. It's all about you. It's your pace. It's your race. One of my favorite things to say in the entire world, because it's not you competing with the next person that's here on this call today. It's about you being better than you were yesterday and the day before or the month before in this season of life. Not comparing yourself to where you were in your 20s or whatever age, that you felt, you'd love to do that again, but your body just won't keep up. It's all good. And I know mine doesn't. How do you feel when you work out? How do you feel when you skip? I love it. I'm seeing y'all drop it in the chat. Love it. I love going for a walk as well too. I just saw somebody say, I love going for a walk. It clears my mind, relaxes me, and I sleep better. Absolutely. It's honestly become one of my most favorite. I used to think, how can I walk and get results? Like, this is crazy. There's no way. Now I go for a walk. Like, I crave to go for a walk, especially in the mornings before anybody is up and it's dark outside and there's nobody but me, the birds chirping, and God, and I get to talk to him, or I listen to meditations or music or motivational things. There's so many benefits to walking. I feel so much better, energized, accomplished, much better, movable. Yeah, I love that somebody said much better, movable, Christy, because even the more, something that a lot of people think is the opposite. If you hurt a lot, like your back hurts or whatever, everybody's definitely different on where your aches and pains are, but oftentimes the more we move, the less we hurt. The less we move, the more we hurt. Again, it's kind of like one of those opposite, the same thing as like, oh, I need to eat more and work out less. What? Yes, that's the magic sauce. So let's move on to the last secret, you guys, and then ladies, and then we'll wrap it up here. Y'all keep chatting in the chat. I love seeing Linda Campbell's in the house. We just love you. I feel so much better, especially walking in the fresh air and the beautiful nature. Yes. Yeah, more energetic. Love it. So here's the last little secret. It's going to be a little bit shorter than the other two. The other two are definitely very, very, very long, a little bit more longer winded to chat about. But the last secret ladies, and this is one of the things, the mindset shifts that we work so heavy on with you, that we coach. The secret is really just, it's more selfish for us to ignore your health than it is for us to put ourselves and our health as top priority. And what do I mean by that is, so many of us feel guilt, or we feel like, I'm being selfish if I put myself first. I'm being selfish if I tell my family they need to wait. Or I'm feeling I feel selfish if I tell so-and-so I can't go help them because I have an appointment at the gym with myself. You know what I mean? So many of us feel bad about taking time for ourselves, when in reality, flip the script. It's more selfish if we continue to ignore ourselves than it is if we put ourselves first. Why? Because our families end up understanding when they see the difference in us, when they see that happier, healthier, more energetic version of us, because we are putting ourselves a priority. Like something my husband he said to me on our wedding day, and I remind him often, he always says, happy wife, happy life. There's actually, we even made a hat on our apparel store that says happy wife, happy life, because in reality, like our family, maybe it's not a husband or a spouse, but maybe it's your family, maybe it's anybody in your life that recognizes, like, the happier you are showing up, the better their benefit. They are reaping the benefits of you taking care of yourself in so many incredible ways, that we oftentimes forget. We are programmed to think like, there's no way that I can't take away from my kids, whatever. Yes, you can. You can take at least those 10 minutes a day if you're struggling. And why we say 10 minutes a day is because 10 minutes is the building block for you to become a confident in yourself and feel good about yourself and feel worthy about yourself enough to actually take 20 minutes and then to take 30 minutes. And then you build from there. If you're not doing anything, 10 minutes, don't try to do more than that. Because again, it's a mental shift thing, I promise. So
I do know, can I just say something?
please
I
do.
do know that your kids aren't going to remember if the dishwasher was unloaded. Your kids aren't going to remember if the laundry was all folded. They're not going to remember those things. They won't remember that you went to the gym perhaps, but they'll remember the good mood that mama was in. And I know that going to the gym or going for that walk around the block and getting that euphoric feeling of movement is going to serve them just as much as it will serve you going forward. And it's those feelings that your kids, your family, your husband, are going to remember so much more than if all those little chores or whatever, so to speak. Because those will always be there. Those chores are never going away. But your health will, right? Like if you don't put deposits in, there's withdrawals that are being made all the time. So just as a mom, I wish I had known when my littles were little, the things that I know now, because those are the things that I just wish I had done differently, because I was very obsessed or consumed with always having the house at a certain level of, order. And so I didn't put myself first, like I shared, till my late 30s. So if I can leave that with any of the younger moms or, on here too, that those jobs will always be there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even the tasks at work or whatever it is that we do, I mean, there's so many things that when you start to take care of yourself is whenever you start to make that shift of like, okay, I know that the job the world, the job, the house, nothing fell apart when I unplugged and took care of me for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was so hard for me to grasp there for a while. I used to try to do laundry all the time and dishes all the time. And I had, working from home, if you work from home, you could probably relate to this, but if you work from home, you're always thinking about the dishes, the laundry, all the things that are in your four walls. And yeah, and it's, those things can't wait. I mean, the best thing that I ever learned in my journey was like, you know what? I see dishes piled up in the sink. I'm just going to let it sit there. Why? Because this is the time that I dedicated to myself and I don't really care. It can wait. And same thing with the laundry and all the things. So, this is a myth that I love to always point out in this topic, in this secret, as women and moms, I feel like we've been programmed in our world and our society to think that it's required to do it all ourselves and also to sacrifice ourselves to do for everybody else. I know this is what I lived by for a really long time. Like, okay, I'm a mom now. Like, I'm supposed to sacrifice myself. I'm supposed to sacrifice everything that I want to do to take care of them. And it's not the case at all. You know, or if you're a business owner, I know a lot of you guys run businesses or in the network marketing space where I started in my new online career, like 24/7. I mean, no, it was everything except for me. And so we as women, if we program our mind, like we were not told, God did not tell us to sacrifice ourselves in order to do for everybody else, or the simple fact that we have to do it ourselves. It's okay to ask for help. It's actually very courageous, in my personal opinion, to ask for help, especially as women, because we're really good at taking on 20,000 million tasks, thinking that we have to do it all and that nobody else can do it as good as us, or that everybody else is too busy to help us, when in reality it's not the case. So the things that the top struggles that I want to kind of wrap this up today on this last secret, that is the top struggles leading so many women to fat gain or to being stuck rather than loss. The very first struggle here is just learning to say no. How many of y'all struggle saying no? If that's you, I want you to put no with a bunch of O's at the end of it in the chat. We often struggle saying no to people. I love it. Erica, I see you're a 3-year-old. Yeah, Erica, I'm 41 with a now 5-year-old, and it's not easy, but man, it's so worth working on that shift. And I know we've had some conversations lately. Keep rocking it. No, no, no. I love it. So if you struggle saying no, as you can see in the chat, if you go take a look, you're not alone in this. This is so incredibly uncommon, but one of the most important words that you can learn to say is no. No to the things that don't serve you, because they're going to take you away from what it is, the values that you're trying to create within yourself. Learning to say no to the boss that wants you to work 27 hours of overtime for no extra pay. How many of you guys have ever been there? When I worked a corporate world job, it was overtime, 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 overtime. It wasn't worth the extra money that they did pay, thankfully. But you get to a point in your life, we've got to learn to say no. And we're going to hurt people's feelings sometimes, or we may let others down, whatever you want to call it. But if we don't learn to say no to helping all the other 10 different people that need us, that have all these emergencies and come to us for everything, because we are always the yes person, the person that always says yes, then you're always going to be on the bottom of your priority list. When we learn to really shift that, like, I'm going to put me first, and it's okay to tell that person no. And you don't have to explain yourself either. You don't have to tell them why. Just know, you know what? And you can be nice about it. No, I can't do that. I don't have the bandwidth, or it just doesn't fit in my routine. I have other things that I have to do first. You don't have to explain yourself at all. We have to learn to say no. It's so incredibly important. I love all the no's in the comments. Yeah. And so many, and I'm glad that you said that, Erica, because so many people feel guilty saying no. I used to struggle with that one big time. At one point in my journey, I took on so many different things because I couldn't say no. It did nothing good for me at all. It did. And here's the other thing for us, this will help you. If you are someone that takes really a lot of pride in what you do, like if I do something, if I said to someone that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it at my best ability. Like I'm going to go all in and I'm going to do it all. But if you've got too many things on your plate, you can't go all in. You're not going to be able to do very well. So always remember that. Learn to say no is one of the best, most freeing things that you're going to do on this journey. Second thing that really keeps a lot of us struggling is that we just don't plan. We don't plan for ourselves. We will put our kids' appointments on the calendar. We'll put our parents, if you take care of your parents or help your parents at all, we'll put their appointments on their calendar. We will put our husband's appointment on their calendar. We will put everything under the sun on our calendar except for us. How many of you actually plan for yourself? Like put your me time on your calendar and actually stick to it. Yeah, I do now. It's a routine now, and everybody knows what mama's doing at 5 a.m. I'm a 5 a.m. person, but I love 5 a.m. It doesn't have to be your time. You have to do whatever works best for you. Maybe it's at lunch. And if you put it on your calendar, It's an appointment with you, which is the most important appointment that you can make. So incredibly important to stick to it, right? Not always easy. Accountability, friends, maybe a coach, maybe something to help you tell somebody else so that you don't just continue to let yourself down and skip you. Don't ask for help. How many have a hard time asking for help? I still struggle with this one a little bit, but I'm so much better than I used to be. Okay, asking for help, put help in the comments, because again, so incredibly important. We have to ask for help. And the thing that I've learned, and this is more in my own marriage, look at it, whatever relationships you have in your life, or maybe it's at work or whatever. For me, mine's in my own marriage, because I would always think I had to do it all. Like, I put the pressure on myself to do it all when I have a very capable, willing, amazing husband that's always willing. What I did for him by not asking for help is I made him feel very insufficient, like he couldn't do anything good enough. And I didn't realize that until I was actually working with a mentor that helped me realize that. I'm like, ooh, when you ask people to help you do certain things, it doesn't just benefit you and take some things off your plate. You're actually making them feel good about themselves. So incredible, and such an incredible point that just kind of changed my whole outlook on that. And then the last thing here, and we'll wrap it up, ladies, we have to set boundaries, which kind of goes along with everything that we're saying here. If we don't set specific boundaries and priorities and then share them with other people, meaning us as a priority, meaning boundaries around ourselves, boundaries could be a whole training on its own, but it could literally be just something as simple as not allowing negative energy to come into your space by asking people to, not come into your space. I mean, I could go so far with that one without making this a really, really long training. You guys were already a little over than originally intended, but I don't apologize because it's such good info. We have to set boundaries, and we have to create ourselves a priority list that includes us. We have to be a priority. Put priority in the chat if you're still in a place where you can type. Chat. Yes, I love it, Salita. I'm so glad you were able to make it. So, okay. I hope y'all had some great value today. I would love to hear feedback. And then I'm going to share with you, obviously, what's next from here. With you, I would love to hear feedback from those of y'all that were on today. A message, shoot me a message, send me an email, send me a Facebook message. I just would love to know your biggest takeaways, or take it a step further. And in our free Fit Successful Mom community, just hop in there and write a post about today. But what's next? If you're signed up for tomorrow, that's the VIP bonus day where we're going to deep dive into mastering your macros. You still can sign up for it, obviously. If you want to sign up for it, it's just $33. What you do, unless you're coaching with us, it's totally free. You'll automatically get access to it. So what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to do Q&A. So after this, I will be sending you all an email with the form. Just submit your questions. I'd love to have great questions to go into tomorrow so that we can make sure we get them all answered. You're going to get all of us three coaches live, ready to rock and roll. You will get us going over macros with you tomorrow. We have a macro cheat sheet. If you already signed up for VIP, the macro cheat sheet should actually be in your email already. And that cheat sheet has a super simplified formula that will at least get you started with macros and some tips and tricks on tracking. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And then we'll send you all the replays so you have them, and then go over our special offer as well too for coaching that includes bonuses and some discounts and different things that we'll share tomorrow. And if you're in a place you're just like, I'd love to at least just chat about coaching, book a call. There's a link. I'll send this all out via email. Yes, tomorrow will be different. I saw, is it Dee Dee? Tomorrow will be different, for the class, compared to the one that you had purchased before. So yay, priority. So I will send out an email for all of this, or shoot me a message if you want to book a call or if you want to upgrade to VIP. Other than that, thank y'all so much for spending time with us today. It just shows how much you all know that you are absolutely worth it. You're worth every bit of time and energy that you are putting into yourself right now, in the future. And if you're in a place still right now where you're like, I still don't know where I'm going to fit it in, Angela. I just don't know that I'm worthy of the time. Because truly, I know that sounds silly, but so many women don't truly feel like they're worthy of the time. I'm going to do a selfie. If your face is on, say cheese if you can. Sorry, Laura, I put you on the spot. But you guys are you're worth the time and the money that you invest in yourself, and anything that you are doing for yourself is also for everybody else around you. And I know oftentimes that's more powerful in your why and your reason for showing up than it is anything else. So y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank you, Coach Lori. Thank you, Coach Anita, for being a part of this. And if y'all hopped on late, same, and did VIP, you'll get the replay. Other than that, y'all have an
Have a
amazing
great day.